Selected Islamic Story. The Story of a Worshipper and a Woman, Part 1. Narrated by Abu Dhar. May Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, There was a devout worshipper among the children of Israel who dedicated himself to worshipping Allah in his place of prayer for 60 years. One day rain fell, nourishing the earth until it became lush and green. The worshipper then left his prayer chamber, murmuring to himself, If I leave this synagogue and increase my remembrance of Allah, my good deeds will surely multiply. He descended from his synagogue carrying 1 or 2 pieces of bread. As he wandered, he suddenly encountered a woman. He began conversing with her, and she seemed engrossed in their talk. Unexpectedly, the worshipper succumbed to temptation and committed adultery with her. Overwhelmed with guilt, he fainted and then plunged into a lake to cleanse himself. Meanwhile, a beggar approached him. The worshipper gestured for the beggar to take the 1 or 2 pieces of bread he had. Shortly after, the man died. Later, the reward of his 60 years of worship was weighed against the sin of adultery, and his sin proved heavier. Then the 1 or 2 pieces of bread, given as charity, were placed on the scale of his good deeds. This time his good deeds outweighed his sin, and Allah forgave him. Narrated by Ibn Abi Shayba in his Musannaf, Al-Bayhaqi in Shu'ab al-Iman, and Ibn al-Mubarak in Alba al-Saila. The chain of narration was deemed good by Shaykh al-Albani in Silsila al-Ahadith al-Daiva al-Mawdu'a, 14875. The wording of the hadith follows the narration of Ibn Abi Shayba. Notes. The term synagogue refers to a place of worship for Jews, retained here as the story involves the children of Israel. Zikr is translated as remembrance of Allah for clarity. The translation preserves the moral emphasis on the weight of sincere charity, even small acts, in balancing sins. Lessons learned. 1. Pre-Islamic permissibility of isolation for worship. Before the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, certain communities, like the children of Israel, were allowed to isolate themselves from society for dedicated worship, avoiding social interactions, and even distancing themselves from women, including their spouses. However, Islam emphasizes moderation, community engagement, and fulfilling family responsibilities, rejecting monasticism unless for temporary spiritual retreats, e.g. itikaf in Ramadan. 2. Reflecting on Allah's signs strengthens faith and love. Deep contemplation of Allah's creations and divine verses enhances one's faith, knowledge, and love, mahabba, for Him. Intellectual and spiritual reflection is a means to draw closer to Allah and deepen one's connection to His wisdom.